Alright all, and welcome back to another video on the Day 5 preview for Royal Ascot this week, going through every race of every day and trying to find a couple of winners along the way. And as you can see, I'm in the same situation as I was in yesterday's video, which would obviously mean that I am recording this also on Thursday evening. The reasoning for that is because I'm working all day tomorrow. I won't have the time to do it. I won't have the time to get it up in time. So what's going to happen is I'm going to be doing the Saturday card here this evening. It's 5:30 on Thursday, and I'll schedule it to be up tomorrow or as you're watching it today at 6:30, so that you can get a decent enough account of it throughout your Friday evening into Saturday, and hopefully we finish the week pretty well. I won't know how the Day 4 selections have gone by the time this video is up. Follow me on Twitter. I'll try to keep things updated over there in terms of if there are any updates to have. Do follow me there and I'll try to get them to you. Looking through the Saturday card, we're going to try and pick apart some of these races, starting off with the 2:30, the Chesham Stakes. And it's not been a week where I've sided for too many at the top of the market, and the reasoning for that has been I just don't feel many of them have been great value, and I suppose I was vindicated at times and not vindicated at other times. Love went on to win, even though I was quite keen to take her on. But Stradivarius didn't win, and I was quite keen to take him on. So that's just the kind of sort of things you're going to get throughout a week like this. It wouldn't usually be my like to go in for something at a short price. But that being said, I'm going to preface all of this because I'm going to be putting up Point Lonsdale for Aidan O'Brien and Ryan Moore. I think this could be their best 2-year-old that's going over this week. A 6-5 currently. He's going to come out of stall 11. He won very impressively at the Curragh by 5.5 lengths. He's got a big white face on him. He's a very tough looking horse. He was ridden along a fair way out in that Curragh run, kept finding for pressure. He looks a likeable type with kind of a fairly lazy attitude actually, and one that's going to keep giving you. I know there's plenty of unexposed horses in this. 6-5 isn't one of the great prices in the world, but I haven't put up too many shorties all week, and I am going to put him up. The 3:05, the Jersey Stakes, a 7 furlong race, over 7 furlongs for Group 3 horses and 3-year-olds. And I quite like Ace Aussie in this, and I know I'm very pro Jesse Harrington, I always have been, but I do quite like this horse in this context at 22-1 each way, 4 places. That's the best price you can get, 22-1, for a horse that I think 7 furlongs is his ideal trip. When you look back at his form last year as a 2-year-old, he won his maiden over 7 furlongs, then he reappeared when finishing second in the Guineas trial to Poetic Flare at Leopardstown back in March. That form has been well and truly advertised throughout the whole summer so far. He then stepped up to a mile and against older horses in the Amethyst Stakes. And he ran a good race. He came third, but he was favoured, so maybe it was a little bit of a disappointment. But I just thought he wasn't maybe right. It was just one of those, you didn't feel he was really firing in the final furlong. I wouldn't say he didn't stay, but I would say maybe optimum might be 7 furlongs. And as a result, I think this drop back down to 7 furlongs could suit this horse. And I think he's been a bit forgotten about in the market. At 22-1, I'm more than willing to play him. The 3:40, the Hardwicke Stakes over a mile 4. A few horses that have fallen from grace in this lineup. And I'm going to be backing one of them, but I'm not going to be backing a few of the others. So I'm going to put up 2 in this. One horse I really like is Sir Ron Priestley, and I'm going to give him a chance, even though he's slightly disappointed at York last time out. Previous to that, his run at Newmarket, beating Pile Driver, has been well and truly advertised. Back into Group 2 company here, Sir Ron Priestley. 12-1, Franny Norton on board. I love these Mark Johnson horses. They're point and shoot merchants. They get the job done from the front. They're very hard to pass, as we saw with Subjectivist today. I think at 12-1 he's too big a price. And the one horse I'm going to take another chance on, I'm not going back to Japan, fair enough. But 16-1 back in a Group 2 on what's likely to be good ground. I know there's a bit of rain about, but I don't think it's going to be really get into the ground. Mogul in this. I know some people call him Mongrel, but he's 16-1 back in a Group 2. I just don't understand it. The rain would have inconvenienced him in the Coronation Cup, so you can put a line through that run. Other than that, he finished third in a Group 1 last time out. He won 2 Group 1s at the end of last year. Colin Keane is booked, who I think is an eye-catching booking, I reckon, in this race. And at 16-1, back in a Group 2 affair, I think Mogul could outrun those odds. And it wouldn't surprise me, especially if the rain stays away, that there is money for him. The 420, the big Diamond Jubilee Stakes, I'm going to be playing the last year's second and very unlucky second, Dream of Dreams, in this at 4-1 for Ryan Moore and Sir Michael Stout. As I say, he was a little bit unlucky to not get the job done against Hello Youmzain, it was last year, and then went on to win the Sprint Cup at Haydock later in the year. He was very impressive in his reappearance at Windsor in a race he should have won, but did win and won nicely. Ryan Moore gets on very well with him. He handles the straight track at Ascot superbly, and at 6 furlongs on decent enough ground, I think he should take a lot of stopping. At 4-1, I'd be well and truly looking to take on Starman, who still has to prove he's a Group 1 sprinter in my eyes. The 5 o'clock, the Wokingham handicap. This is a minefield, and as a result, just going to play the 1 in it. And he's a horse that probably has a fair bit to prove off this mark, but Rohaan has been a bit of a revelation this year. He won the Sandy Lane Stakes at Haydock, Group 2 event over 6 furlongs only a couple of weeks ago, having started off handicaps at almost a basement mark up in Newcastle when he won his first race. He's off a mark of 112, which maybe is just far too much in a race like this, perhaps, but he's 9-1, you're getting 6 places, and if he was to just run a really good race, you know, if he was to run the races he's been running in group races, he'd be well and truly in the picture in this. It was a race I looked down and I couldn't find almost anything that I liked, and he was the only horse that I really quite fancied to run well. So Rohaan at 9-1 I'm going to take. The 5:35 mile 2 furlong handicap, a horse I've been very unlucky with so far this year, is King Frankel, and I'm going to give him one more chance for Mark Johnson and Frankie Dettori. He's 8-1. He ran a super race at Epsom on Derby weekend when just being nosed out of it in a mile 2 handicap. He's been raised another few pounds for that, up to a mark of 91, and you do have to wonder, is he just becoming one of these horses that keeps getting raised even though he's not winning races? I don't like them usually, but he's a very consistent horse, and even though he's got a lot of 2s to his name, he's a very genuine and game horse, and at 8-1, 4 places, I'm willing to take him. The 6:10, the final race on the day, the Ascot Stakes, and the final race of the week, over 2 mile 5. It's a real extreme and very, very strange test as well, and therefore I'm going to suit with a horse that loves this test, and it's the Grand Visir for Ian Williams, who's already had a winner so far this week with Rohaan on the first day in a similar contest, the 2.5 mile handicap. He's got the Grand Visir in this. Richard Kingscott takes the ride. The last 2 runnings of this race, he's won it and come a short head second last year. It was a much worse renewal last year, I will admit that. There's a few nice enough types in this, but he ran a super race a couple of starts back when second in the Chester Cup to Falcon 8. I think he might be able to even turn over that form over this extreme test of 2 mile 5, and you're getting 11-1 about a horse that's got very, very good course and distance form and handles the intricacies and the strangeness of a flat race being so long. So the Grand Visir at 11-1 to close out the week. Anyway, I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed the videos throughout the week. I'm very keen to keep the action going on this channel even during the flat season, and I know my main port of call is the jump season, as is for plenty of you guys watching, but there's still an awful lot of flat fans out there, and it's nice to be covering good flat racing, so I'm more than happy to do it as long as the demand is there. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have and you haven't subscribed so far, please go and do so. We're around 300 subscribers away from 4,000, which would be absolutely incredible to get to, maybe by the end of the summer. So that's maybe a little bit of a target that I'd love to achieve by the end of the main flat season, to get up to 4,000. Really can't thank you all enough for all your ongoing support, for me on Twitter, on my radio stuff, which bookie stuff, whatever it is. I really can't thank you all enough. So until next time, where we'll be back covering the weekend action and hopefully maybe a few jumps cards sometime soon, I'll let you go for now. Hope you stay safe, stay well, land a few bets, and I'll see you guys very soon.